Brie Larson is pushing for more opportunities for women and people of color on movie press tours, and believe it or not everyone's happy about it. We talk about that, plus the humanitarian crisis behind the WWF, not the Wrestling Federation. And we bring you the brand new album from one of our favorite bands, The Japanese House. It's all coming up next. This is Relevant Daily.
Relevant Daily.
Hey everyone, I'm Cameron Strang. Welcome to Relevant HQ and welcome to today's Relevant Daily, where we bring you what you need to know at the intersection of faith and culture. Before we get into those stories, I want to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether you need a landing page, a beautiful gallery, a professional blog, or an online store, it's all possible with Squarespace. They have award-winning templates, customizable settings, and even powerful e-commerce solutions, all without a single plugin. And right now, Squarespace is offering Relevant Daily viewers a special deal. Go to squarespace.com/relevant for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch your website, use the offer code RELEVANT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. I've used that code many times. I've used Squarespace for years. Huge thanks to them for sponsoring Relevant Daily. All right, there's a lot going on today. And to tell us all about it, please welcome our senior editor, Tyler Huckabee.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, so Tyler, tell us what's going on with the skirkuffle or whatever they call those around Brie Larson's press tour.
Well, it is a kerfluffle, and it's actually started a couple of months ago. In a cover story she did for Marie Claire. She specifically requested an interviewer named Kia Brown. Kia Brown is a black woman journalist. She is disabled, and she expressed some surprise that Brie Larson knew who she was, let alone was interested in having her profile her. And Brie Larson said that she's noticed there's a lot of white men who are involved in the film covering business, who do these sorts of profiles, and she wanted to use some of her newfound fame to try to make a change in that. She said, quote, her new profile role comes with all these privileges and powers that make me feel uncomfortable because I don't really need them. It's a byproduct of the profession and a sign of the times, but any uncomfortableness I feel is balanced by the knowledge that it gives me the ability to advocate for myself and others. So that's a pretty cool thing. That's like a very nice thing to do, to try to use some of your privilege for it, to try to get more people in the space. But because we live in 2019, and this is how the internet works, not everybody was feeling it. And the way this was interpreted through sort of the bad faith filter online that a lot of these people have to work out their statements through was that she was discriminating against white men. She didn't want white men to cover her movies anymore. She was accused of hating men. Her upcoming movie, Captain Marvel, a few people said she hated half the potential audience for it. So it became sort of the kerfluffle comes from people, in many cases, willfully misunderstanding what she was trying to say. Don't you have a feeling that these are the same people that did the bombing of Rotten Tomatoes because they were just mad that Captain Marvel is a woman now? I mean, it feels like these are the same people living in their parents' basements. They're all kind of sweaty and they get mad about a lot of dumb stuff. I mean, it's definitely related. I think you'd be hard-pressed to explain this away by just saying, oh, people just didn't understand what she was trying to say, and if she would have explained it a little better, they would have been more accepting of it. That's not what this is. There are a lot of people out there who want to be mad, who don't like the idea of a woman superhero, and are looking for excuses to trash her. But she's very correct. A recent study on Rotten Tomatoes found that almost 78% of film critics are men, and that number actually only drops to 76% when you're just looking at the top critics. So there are a lot of men involved. There's not a lot of diversity involved in this crowd, and she has the ability to make a change in that, and she's trying to. She said, and this is another quote, "What I'm looking for is to bring more seats to the table. No one is getting their chair taken away. There's not less seats at the table. There's just more seats at the table."
Bigger table. I like it. There you go. When I saw this next item that you're going to bring us about the WWF, I have to admit, I thought, what did Hulk Hogan do now? And then I remembered that's when I was a kid. It's WWE now. The WWF is a very different thing. Tell us what's going on.
So the WWF is the World Wildlife Fund. It's one of the biggest global animal conservation organizations in the entire world. There's an explosive new report that just came out on Monday from BuzzFeed News that highlights a lot of human rights atrocities that are taking place via the WWF. What's happening is these places are funneling a lot of their donations, and they get a lot of donations towards these sort of paramilitary organizations in different countries that are supposed to be using this money to fight against poaching and poachers, but they end up sort of overreaching. Things escalate, get out of control, and now WWF is being accused of directly working with paramilitary forces that are beating, torturing, sexually assaulting, and murdering scores of people.
I mean, I'm flabbergasted. I personally experienced a little bit of this phenomenon with poaching. Years ago, I was in Rwanda, and there's a mountain on the border of the Congo, Rwanda, and Uganda, where you can hike up and see gorillas in the wild. It was where the famous one, Gorillas in the Mist and all that was. And to go up onto the mountain, because it shared the border, we had to have armed militia with our group at all times, because poachers will go and kill the parent gorillas and take the babies. And if you're there or in the way, you're in harm's way as well. So you have to be armed. Well, so the group we were with was like an organization for conservation and stuff. But you are funding militia people who are helping the conservationists. And I could see how the money could get funneled very easily toward this other stuff. It's really crazy that it's actually true and documented that this is actually happening. Has the WWF said anything about their support? Are they doing anything about this?
Well, when BuzzFeed News reached out for comment, they responded and said that this didn't line up with their understanding of what was going on, but they did promise to launch an internal investigation to see whether or not those things are true. Whether or not the results of that investigation will be the answers we're looking for, obviously, is something that remains to be seen. But they have been talking for many, many years. They've used this sort of violent language in their own marketing material, saying they're at war with poaching and that there's a lot of conflict and violence. So this is not exactly news that there are fights breaking out. What is news is that, like with any war, there's a lot of civilian casualties.
That's crazy. Okay, palate cleanser, into Sonic Culture tip. There's a great new album that we're really excited about here at Relevant. Tell us about it.
Well, a band I've had my eye on for a long time, the Japanese House. She has finally released her debut album. The Japanese House is one woman. Her name is Amber Bain. She released her very first single, Maybe You're the Reason, a couple weeks ago, and now the music video just came out a couple days ago, and here's a clip.
I keep looking for something, even though I know that it's not there. And every time I try to figure it out, you're the only thing I can think about.
That's awesome. I'm not going to give it away, but maybe a little foreshadowing. There might be more to come with the Japanese House if you stay tuned into Relevant. So.
I'm not going to say it. I will say it if you don't say it.
I saw Japanese House at South by Southwest this past spring, and they're phenomenal. Definitely a band that's going to explode. So very cool.
Great performance.
A little bit of news before we close Relevant Daily today. In the next day or two, there's going to be a new set. This fancy new in-ear monitor that I have is just the beginning of a new era for Relevant Daily. Things are going so well. The response has been so strong. Relevant Daily is getting a new set with some better lighting, and you won't have to just see our magazine wall and TV behind me. Very exciting stuff. Stay tuned. Wherever you're watching this today, subscribe or check back in every day for the latest. And obviously, stay tuned with us on Twitter throughout the day at Relevant, on Instagram at Relevant Magazine, on Facebook. We post all day long as well. And for all the latest, including the latest Relevant Dailies, the live Relevant podcast, and everything else we're doing here at Relevant, check out the homepage at relevantmagazine.com. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you tomorrow with Relevant Daily.
Relevant Daily.